Imagine walking into a garden where the soothing sound of water cascading over rocks fills the air, surrounded by lush greenery, and a striking centerpiece evergreen standing tall behind a brand new waterfall. Today, we're transforming an ordinary garden into a captivating outdoor oasis, adding not just a stunning evergreen but also several other unique planting projects. From selecting the perfect location to prepping the soil and arranging complementary plants, we'll dive deep into every detail of this transformation, sharing tips to inspire your own garden adventures. Setting the stage for the garden transformation, let's start by visualizing the space. This garden already has a beautiful layout, but it needs that special touch to elevate it into something truly spectacular. The newly installed waterfall is the focal point, creating a natural gathering area in the garden. We need to bring everything together with carefully selected plants that will enhance the scene without overshadowing the waterfall. The key here is to create a balance between bold statement pieces and subtle accents. Our first major task is installing the centerpiece evergreen behind the waterfall. This evergreen will anchor the space and provide year-round interest with its vibrant color and unique texture. The evergreen we're choosing is a variety that not only tolerates the local climate well but also fits with the aesthetic of a serene, naturalistic garden. With this central feature in mind, we can start mapping out the rest of the planting projects, making sure everything flows seamlessly. Selecting the perfect evergreen for the centerpiece. The choice of centerpiece is critical. We want an evergreen that draws attention without being too overwhelming. After considering various options like spruce, pine, and cypress, we've decided on a majestic blue spruce. Its silvery blue needles provide a striking contrast to the green foliage of surrounding plants, and its pyramidal shape offers a timeless elegance. Plus, blue spruce is hardy and can thrive in a range of conditions, making it an ideal candidate for this project. Positioning the blue spruce is key. We'll place it slightly offset from the waterfall, ensuring it doesn't block the view but still stands prominently. By situating it behind and slightly to the side, the spruce will frame the waterfall nicely while adding depth to the landscape. This positioning also allows the tree to capture light at different angles throughout the day, giving the garden a dynamic appearance as the sunlight filters through its branches. Prepping the ground for planting the evergreen. Before we can plant the blue spruce, we need to prepare the ground to ensure the tree establishes itself successfully. We start by marking the area where the spruce will go, making a circular outline about twice the width of the tree's root ball. This will give us enough space to work and allow the roots to spread out comfortably. Next, we dig a hole that's about 1.5 times the depth of the root ball. It's important to get this right because planting too deep or too shallow can lead to problems later on. Once we have the hole at the proper depth, we mix some organic compost with the soil to improve drainage and provide the necessary nutrients. Good drainage is particularly important for evergreens because they don't like sitting in waterlogged soil. A mixture of compost and sand helps create the perfect balance. We carefully lower the blue spruce into the hole, making sure it's straight and centered. Backfilling with the soil mixture in stages, we gently tamp down the soil to remove air pockets but avoid compacting it too tightly. This way, the roots can spread and grow without much resistance. Watering and mulching the newly planted evergreen. With the tree now planted, our next focus is watering. The first watering is crucial as it helps settle the soil around the roots and eliminates any remaining air pockets. We saturate the area thoroughly, allowing the water to soak in gradually. Moving forward, consistent watering will be essential for the first few months to ensure the tree establishes well, especially during dry spells. Mulching around the base of the tree helps retain moisture, suppresses weed growth, and insulates the roots against temperature fluctuations. We use a 3-inch layer of organic mulch, such as shredded bark, and spread it in a circular pattern, keeping it about 2 inches away from the trunk to prevent rot. Enhancing the surrounding area with complementary plantings. Now that our blue spruce is standing tall, it's time to think about what will go around it. We want to add plants that complement the evergreen while also bringing different textures, heights, and colors into the scene. Here's where we introduce a mix of shrubs, ground covers, and flowering perennials that will create layers of interest throughout the seasons. We're adding several dwarf azaleas around the base of the blue spruce. Their vibrant blooms will provide a striking contrast to the blue needles in spring, and their foliage will add a dense, green backdrop through the rest of the year. Next, we'll intersperse some hostas in between the azaleas. The hosta's broad leaves and variegated patterns will introduce an appealing texture that softens the area and blends the transitions between different plant heights. To complete the picture, low-growing ground covers like creeping thyme will fill in the gaps. They'll add a delicate touch to the base and spread naturally, reducing the need for weeding while creating a cohesive look. We're also incorporating some ferns in shadier spots, which will add a lush, woodland feel to the garden, especially around the more shaded edges of the waterfall. Installing additional accent plants around the waterfall. With the centerpiece in place, we shift our attention to the area around the waterfall. The goal here is to use plants that thrive in moist environments and can handle some splash from the water. We choose a mix of ornamental grasses, sedges, and water-loving perennials like astilbes and ligularia. Ornamental grasses such as Japanese forest grass will add movement as they sway gently in the breeze. Their golden hues contrast nicely with the blue spruce and the darker green of the ferns. Sedges, on the other hand, provide a grassy texture that softens the rock's edges, making the waterfall appear more natural and integrated into the landscape. For pops of color, we're planting astilbes along the edges. Their feathery plumes in shades of pink, red, and white will create a showy display in the summer and thrive in the consistently moist soil. Ligularia, with its large, dramatic leaves and yellow flower spikes, will add a bold touch that draws the eye toward the waterfall area, further enhancing the sense of a natural retreat. Finally, for winter interest, we're placing red-twig dogwoods near the waterfall. Their bright red stems will stand out against the snow and add a much-needed splash of color when most other plants have gone dormant. Conclusion: with the blue spruce standing proudly behind the waterfall, surrounded by thoughtfully selected plantings, the garden has been transformed into a serene retreat where every element complements the next. The combination of evergreens, flowering perennials, and ornamental grasses has created a dynamic landscape that will provide year-round beauty. This project was all about layering different textures and colors, making sure each plant serves a purpose in enhancing the garden's natural appeal. The garden now tells a story of nature, tranquility, and thoughtful design. Whether you're planning your own centerpiece installation, adding seasonal interest, or simply looking for inspiration, remember that creating a garden is an ongoing journey. The beauty is in the process, and every step adds a little more magic to your outdoor space.